Broncos country, what's going on? Hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. Want to circle back with what was a pretty underrated and interesting signing that I think could have higher potential than what people are making it out to be, and that's with Andre Smith Jr., linebacker, most recently played for the Atlanta Falcons, signing a one-year deal with the Broncos. I believe we cut undrafted free agent tight end from Duke, believe it was Dylan Leonard, if I'm remembering his name correctly. Y'all let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. But this is a guy that might compete with Justin Sternad for special teams reps. Seemed to grade out pretty well. Has some nice statistics there. But also when he's been playing linebacker, this most recently had a pretty productive year for the Atlanta Falcons, and with a lot of question marks right now at inside linebacker, outside of Alex Singleton, you wonder, hey, he could be a depth signing. Maybe he could surprise and be very productive given a larger opportunity on this team as he was given in Atlanta this past year. So let's go ahead and dive in. Y'all smash that like and subscribe as always. But let's just start out right here. Hopefully that transitioned well. Okay. And what I want you guys to pay attention to is like the grades at the end of the season against Tampa Bay as well as New Orleans when he was playing an average of 50 snaps those two games. Did very well, had an overall defensive grade for those games of 78.7 and 76.5. That's very good. Anytime you're in the high 70s, that's wonderful. Great against the run and pretty good against the pass as well in coverage. Overall, his season grades were 77.1. And on the season, 14 solo tackles, 2 assisted for a total of 16, an 11.1% missed tackle rate, which is, in my opinion, very respectable. And one stat that I love, 6 stops. If you guys aren't familiar with this stat right here, for some reason it's not letting me highlight it. Stops are a tackle to end an opposing unit's drive. So that could be a tackle on third down to force a punt or a field goal, or a stop on fourth down if they were going for it. And so you saw that he had 6 of those stops in these last 2 games where he saw some decent playing time. Again, 113 snaps on the season. That's not a ton, but it's more than just very, very minimal. I think that's, if you look, I mean, he has 197 total snaps on the defensive side of the ball, and he took 113 of that this past year. So kind of been all over the place a little bit, but maybe this is the place where he finds his footing. We've had different linebackers like that in the past. Granted, like Brandon Marshall might have been a little bit younger, but that's kind of one of those same scenarios where maybe this is an underrated signing to where he ends up being more productive than we are initially anticipating. Getting coverage allowed a 57.1 reception percentage, which and a 69.3 NFL passer rating against him. So again, small sample size, but what you saw this past year from him from a statistical standpoint is encouraging to show that maybe he can be a little bit better of an all-around player compared to Justin Sternad. And we'll get into comparing him in a bit, but also wanted to transition over here to what he did on special teams. He had 3 tackles on special teams, four missed tackles, so a little bit tougher tackling on special teams, which, hey, I understand it happens. Those are wide open plays, right? But overall throughout his career, didn't have the best year with his productivity, 60.4 grade. But as you see throughout his career, I mean, this is where he's made his bread and butter. He has over 1,100 snaps on special teams in his career. So, like, you know, what is that? He's had like his defensive snaps compared to his special team snaps. It's like, what, 10%? Something like that, or maybe closer to like 20%. I don't know. You guys can do the math for me. But if we take a look at Justin Sternad, we can see here on defense didn't get many snaps, and he's been somebody that's been hurt a lot. So as you can see, played a lot his rookie year. It was rough, 319 snaps, and since then he's had 5 snaps on defense over the last 2 years. Not very dependable. It's hard to understand what type of player we're working with just because we haven't seen him on defense. So a little bit different of a story on special teams, though, where he was fantastic. 7 tackles, only 1 missed tackle. So they could be competing for a spot. They could be competing for side-by-side special teams roles. We'll see how this 53 works out. But Justin Sternad, he's gotten better every year on special teams, which is absolutely wonderful. And Andre Smith, again, a lot of question marks right now with our linebacker room after Alex Singleton. Okay, we're bringing in Cody Barton. We have Jonas Griffin that's been re-signed, but he hasn't been able to stay healthy. Again, Justin Sternad hasn't really been able to stay healthy, and he's kind of just seen as that special teams type of player now. Again, you barely saw him get on the field for defensive snaps last year. So maybe Andre Smith has a larger role than some people would anticipate. I think that could be the case. I'm interested to see what the talk about him is in training camp and what he looks like during the preseason games as well, because I think he definitely has a good chance of making this roster. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for checking in. Appreciate you guys, Broncos country. The vibes are great right now. Let's enjoy it. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Go Broncos.